Okay, maybe I can start with the Mangalacharan. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Tasmai Shri Guruve Namah. Shri Chaitanya
Chaitanya-Manovistam Tapitam Yena Bhutale
Yena Bhutale
Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam
Kadamayam
Dadati Swapadantikam
Dadadantikam
Vandeham
Vandeham
Shri
Shri
Guru
Guru
Shri Yuta
Shri
Padakamalam
Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurum
Gurum
Vaishnavamscha
Vaishnavamshan
Shri Rupam
Rupam
Sagrajatam
Sagradatam
Sagana Raghunatam
Sadanam
Tam Sajivan
Sajivam Sad
Sadvaitam Savadhutam
Satyam
Vijana Sahitam Krishna
Krishna
Chaitanya
Chaitanya
Devam
Devam
Shri
Shri
Radha
Radha
Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakha Vitamscha He
He
Krishna
Krishna
Karuna
Karuna
Sindhu
Sindhu
Dinabandhu
Nabandhu
Jagatpate
Jagatpate
Gopesha
Gopesha
Gopika
Gopika
Kanta Radha
Radha
Kanta Namostute
Namaste
Sapta
Sapta
Kanchana
Kanchana
Gaurangi
Gaurangi
Radhe
Radhe
Vrindavaneshwari
Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute
Devi
Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vanchakalpatarubhyascha
Vanchakalparubhyascha Kripa Sindhu
Vasantubhyaye
Itanam Pavanebhyo
Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo
Vaishnavebhyo
Namo
Namo
Namaha
Jai Shri Krishna
Krishna
Chaitanya
Prabhu
Prabhu
Nityananda
Nityananda Shri
Advaita
Advaita Gadadhara Vasant Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Thank you very much for joining in today and making yourself available in spite of it being a holiday. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, we please accept our humble obeisances on behalf of everybody who have joined the group and are about to join Prabhuji. Prabhuji, we are reading the Srimad Bhagavatam. We are on Canto 2, Chapter 1, and the text for today, Chapter 1 is called The First Step in God Realization. And the text for today is text 2, Prabhuji. I hand over to you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Let's start reading the verse. Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 2, Chapter 1, and verse number 2. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naranchaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tado Jayamudire Nashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtuki. Hare Krishna. Reading from the verse. Shotavyadini Rajendra Dranam Santi Saharasha Sahasrasha Apashyatam Atmatattvam Griheshu Grihamedinam. Word to word. Shotavya Adini. Subject matters for hearing.
Subject matters for hearing.
Rajendra.
Rajendra.
O Emperor.
O Emperor.
Emperor.
Dranam.
Ram.
Of human society.
Of human society.
Human society.
Santi, there are.
Santi, there are.
Sahasrasha.
Sahasrasha.
Hundreds and thousands.
Hundreds and thousands.
Apashyatam.
Pashyatam.
Pashyatam.
Of the blind.
Of the blind.
Atma Tattvam,
Atma Tattva,
Tattvam,
knowledge of self, the ultimate truth.
knowledge of self, the
Self,
ultimate truth.
Self,
Griheshu,
Griheshu,
Yeshu,
at home.
at
at
home.
home,
Grihamedinam,
Grahamedina,
Medina,
of persons too materially engrossed.
of persons to
persons
material.
to materially engross.
Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki Jai. Those persons who are materially engrossed, being blind to the knowledge of ultimate truth, have many subject matters for hearing in human society, O Emperor. Purport. In the revealed scriptures, there are two nomenclatures for the householder's life. One is Grihastha, the other is Grihamedi. The Grihasthas are those who live together with wife and children, but live transcendentally for realizing the ultimate truth. The Grihamedis, however, are those who live only for the benefit of the family members, extended or centralized, and thus are envious of others. The word Medhi indicates jealous of others. The Grihamedis, being interested in family affairs only, are certainly envious of others. Therefore, one Grihamedi is not on good terms with another Grihamedi. And in the extended form, one community, society, or nation is not on good terms with another counterpart of selfish interest. In the age of Kali, all the householders are jealous of one another because they are blind to the knowledge of ultimate truth. They have many subject matters for hearing: political, scientific, social, economic, and so on. But due to a poor fund of knowledge, they set aside the question of the ultimate miseries of life, namely miseries of birth, death, old age, and disease. Factually, the human life is meant for making an ultimate solution for birth, death, old age, and disease. But Grihamedis, being illusioned by the material nature, forget everything about self-realization. The ultimate solution to the problems of life is to go back home, back to Godhead, and thus, as stated in the Bhagavad Gita 8.16, the miseries of material existence, birth, death, old age, disease are removed. The process of going back home, back to Godhead, is to hear about the Supreme Lord and His name, form, attributes, pastimes, paraphernalia, and variegatedness. Foolish people do not know this. They want to hear something about name, form, etc., of everything temporary, and they do not know how to utilize this propensity of hearing for the ultimate good. Misguided they are, they also create some false literatures about the name, form, attributes, etc., of the ultimate truth. One should not, therefore, become a Grahamedi simply to exist for envying others. One should become a real householder in terms of the scriptural injunction. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Om Agnanatimirandasya Gnananjana Shalakya Chakshurunmultamena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Hare Krishna. Thanks, Mataji. Thanks, devotees, for giving me this wonderful opportunity to speak some few words about this verse of Srimad Bhagavatam. Yesterday, we heard beautiful lecture by His Grace Vidura Prabhu. He was telling so many pastimes about Srila Prabhupada. We were, we were spellbound by the activities of His Divine Grace, and then how he conducted and how he went all around the world, and then how he achieved this Herculean task of making the whole world Krishna conscious. And then he used to say, I have only one good quality. If people were praising him, if you want to praise me, I just had one desire to fulfill the desire of my spiritual master. So that desire to fulfill his spiritual master took him to the places where he went, and then made an organization, worldwide organization, and then also wrote all these literatures which can be easily understood and digested by all of us. So when I was preparing for this class, So these words like Grihamedi struck me, because we were we were always thinking Grihastha. Grihastha means a householder. So normal householder is a Grihastha. So that was our perception before coming to Krishna consciousness, and then we think that Grihastha means having having a wife, having children, having parents around, having a griha, that means a house to live. That's what I thought it is, a grihastha. But Prabhupada gave the difference between grihastha and grihamedi. So grihastha is the one who, although he lives like a grihamedi, but his main attention, main point of attention is Krishna. So that means, as Prabhupada used to say, dovetailing all his activities to Krishna consciousness. That means his family, he'll create such atmosphere in the family that the spiritual activity, the spiritual activities are carried out. That means he will get up early in the morning. He'll make arrangements to chant the holy names of the Lord nicely. He'll make Mangalarati, and he'll offer the food to Krishna. He'll eat. He'll make the family members eat prasadam, and then he will hear Bhagavad Katha from different devotees, and read Srimad Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam. So the entire day is filled up with uh, the things what Prabhupada has listed here. So the process of going back to home, back to Godhead, is to hear about the Supreme Lord and his name, at form, attributes, pastimes, paraphernalia, and variegatedness. So that's what we are all doing here. That we are all engaging our senses. We want to, actually, we have in this material world, we are trying to enjoy our material senses, which is like trying to get satisfied in a desert. Prabhupada just actually quotes a verse from, I think it's Chaitanya Charitamrita. It's like giving a person in the desert a drop of water. A drop of water in a desert, which is with a scorching heat. Imagine what will do to the person. He wants an ocean water. Like foolish animals in the desert, they think that there is a mirage. So they think that there is a water, but there is a mirage, because of the illusion the water body is created. And the foolish animals cannot understand this mirage of water. Then they just go and jump into that water, which is not there. So similarly, in this material world, there is no real pleasure, but because of illusion, because of covering of Maya, we think that there is enjoyment, there is pleasure. So we engage ourselves in the sense enjoyment process, and then we fall down. When we are engaging in the sense gratification, we go down to the lower species. As Krishna has said in the Bhagavad Gita, urdvam gachanti sattvasya. That means if you are increasing the sattva guna, urdvam gachanti sattvasya. That means you keep going higher and higher in the consciousness. Madhye tishtanti rajasya. That means if you are in rajoguna, that means you are passionate about something. You are really passionate about doing things, and then you are hardworking. You're working very hard, but not for the purpose of Krishna consciousness, but working for the purpose of sense enjoyment. So that means you will be staying on this same platform. Madhye tishtanti. That means, and adho gachanti tamasa. That means if your propensity is to increase tamoguna, that means the mode of ignorance. That means you are lazy, you are not getting up early in the morning, you are sleeping late in the night, and then you are just misusing the all uh, uh, good things about the human life. Actually, in the earlier days, people used to sleep by 7 o'clock or 8 o'clock maximum, because they did not have power. So, and they used to sleep early in the morning at around 4 o'clock. I have seen in my childhood days, my grandmother, my grandfather, they cannot sleep after 4 o'clock, because already they have done the quota of the sleep, and then they cannot sleep anymore. So unfortunately, the current age what we are living in, they call it nightlife. If you go to any city, people ask, oh, what is the nightlife in your city? Is there nightlife, good nightlife? Where can I go? Where can I enjoy my senses? And Prabhupada used to say, in the clubs in America, people at the age of 70, people at the age of 70 go to the clubs thinking that I'll get more enjoyment. So this is the ignorance we are living in. But fortunately, we have had Prabhupada, and then Prabhupada's literatures are there, and then he has given so much. This purport, if you read again and again, so you'll just relish, and then you will just understand what is the importance of human life. When I was preparing for this lecture, uh, this particular verse was relating to Bhagavad Gita 2.41. Maybe if anybody has 2.41. So yeah, Mataji, you can read the translation.
Hare Krishna, Bhagavad Gita 2.41. Translation. Those who are on this path are resolute in purpose, and their aim beloved
Thank you, Mataji. So this is the verse. I thought that this is relating to the subject matter what we're discussing. That this is also a nice verse to even keep repeating and keep memorizing. Vyavasayatmika buddhir ekeha kurunandana bahushaka hi anantasya buddhayo abhyavasayinam. So that means if people vyavasayatmika buddhi, that means who are resolute in Krishna consciousness, so that means their intelligence is one, and then their aim is one. So that means their aim is to ensure that they go on this path of self-realization, and then they are firmly fixed in Krishna consciousness, and they are not thinking about other things, going here, going there. No. So their aim is fixed, and the others who are not resolute in their intelligence, who are not resolute in their Krishna consciousness, they're multi-branched. You can see in this material world, there's so many things. There are so many things to see. Actually, once someone asked Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj, why do you want to, publish so many articles about Krishna? What is there to understand so much in the scriptures? So he said that how many cities are there in the entire world? So there are many hundreds of cities in the world. So these hundreds of cities have newspapers every day. So these are producing news about the city, news about the local happenings, and news about the local area, and news about the world. It is happening so much, and then they are reporting. But this is one world, one planet. And then imagine Krishna is the proprietor of all the material universe, and there are multi-millions of universes, and then there is so many universes coming out from the pores of his body. So how much news you can publish about him? So there is Ananta. That means it is said that Lord Balaram, in his form of Ananta Shesha, he has got unlimited hoods, and then unlimited tongues. So even then, with his unlimited hoods and unlimited tongues, he is unable to describe Lord Krishna. So this is how unlimited Krishna is. So we can imagine how unlimited it is, and then how much literature is there to understand. As Vidura Prabhu was saying yesterday, oh, we have done Canto 1, Congratulations, and we have begun Canto 2. So, but starting from Canto 2, there are how many thousands of verses? Still, 18,000 verses are in Srimad Bhagavatam, and then how many verses we have completed, and then how many still more to go, and then how many days and how many months and how many years it will take us. But still, we should not be, we should not be discouraged by this fact that uh, we have so much to complete. But we can indulge in the Srimad Bhagavatam. We can engage ourselves in hearing the Srimad Bhagavatam and the glories of Krishna, and then we can enjoy our senses. Our senses are anchoring for after happiness. We have to hear something. So in this verse also it is said that people are wanting to hear something nice, like some music, something from the Bollywood movie or from the English music, and people want to hear some music and they want to get enjoyment. So we can understand that the senses need enjoyment. And then if you artificially suppress the senses, it will not be enough to control the senses, because some people go to the Himalayas and try to practice Ashtanga yoga, and then try to practice different methods of yoga to control the senses. But it is not possible to control the senses by materially controlling the senses. And then mind is so unstable. Like we have the example of Vishwamitra, and we have the example of Haridas Thakur. So Vishwamitra was a great Muni, so he could control so many things, and then he was a great Rajrishi. But still, when Menaka appeared, and then Indra was scared, that Vishwamitra will take his position, because always the demigods are always scared that somebody else will come and occupy their position. It's like here in this uh, I mean, on the planet Earth, we are all worried that someone else can come and take our position. We are always jealous. We are always envious. We are always hating, because why that we have that fear. We have that fear that we will lose whatever we have. Actually, I was listening to His Grace Swayam Bhagavan Keshav Maharaj on one of the lectures. He was explaining about 9 types of fears what we have, and he narrated a beautiful story of one king called Bhadrahari. So Bhadrahari was a great king, and then he had lots and lots of facilities, and then he had a beautiful wife called her name is Pingala, and then he made some many verses, hundreds of verses on how Pingala is, how beauty is, and then how beautiful she is. And then he was also very scholarly, and then he also made some hundreds of verses about how to be a king, and uh, uh, how to take care of the kingdom, and so on and so forth. So one time, it so happened that one saintly king came to his kingdom, and then he was very pleased with Bhadrahari. And then I'm very pleased. I want to give you something. So he gave a fruit. He said, "This fruit, if you take, you will be immortal." He said, "You will be immortal by taking this fruit." So he happily accepted that. Then and then he took that fruit, and then he was thinking, "Oh, this fruit is such wonderful, and if I eat it, I'll become immortal. But what is the life without Pingala? Because Pingala is my dear wife, and then if I live forever, and then Pingala is not there, so what is the life?" Because he was so much attached to Pingala. So then he gave the fruit to Pingala. Pingala took it, and then she said, "All right." Then she was secretly liking the charioteer. She was secretly liking the charioteer who used to take her to different places. And then uh, she said, "What is the life without my loved charioteer? Without him, the life will be a waste of time. So I'll give this fruit to my beloved." So she went and gave to the chariot driver. Then this chariot driver received the fruit, and then, all right, I'll take the fruit. See, it's so wonderful. I've got the gift from Pingala. But he used to like a prostitute. Yeah. And then he said, what is the life? I mean, immortal life without that prostitute for me. I like that prostitute so much. And then what he did, he went and gave the fruit to the prostitute. And imagine what happened. The prostitute was liking the king so much. And prostitute said, what is my immortality if I cannot see my king, who is my beloved? So she came and gave it to the king, back to him. So it started from the king, it went to different people, and then came back to the king. So so this is how. And then he has written different fears. Let's say, if you are attached to somebody, if you are attached to your family member, if you are attached to your friend, if you are attached to a wife, that attachment will cause a certain type of fear. So that attachment is a root of some fear, because you will have always the anxiety of losing that person. So, and also, if you are attached to money, you will have always the anxiety of losing that money to somebody, or you'll have anxiety of losing that position to somebody. So like this, we are all always in anxiety, always in fearfulness, always in disturbed nature, because this material world is made in such a way that we are fearful. Because ultimate fear is what? Ultimate fear is to die and to leave everything, including our body and including our love and near and dear ones, and then we will quit the body and then go to another body, another mother's womb, where we will not remember a small thing about this current situation. We will not remember whom we are, where were we, whether we were in human life or whether we were in animal life. Nothing is remembered. So we are all struggling for whatever we are struggling, which is not going to last even one lifetime. It is going to be over, completely dead. Like Krishna has said in the Bhagavad Gita, Mrityu sarva harasya aham. That means, Mrityu, I will come and take away all your belongings, all your possessions. That means, if you don't see me as Krishna, Lord Krishna, in the form of in the form of hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, in the form of chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra, if you don't see me as Krishna, you will see me as death. So either of the way, you will see Krishna. But still, to see Krishna in his original form is much more pleasurable than to see Krishna as death. Just like an example is given, death is very painful, and death is said to be it's a very painful exercise. And then when death happens, the people are in great pain, and then they have a great pain to it's nothing comparable to other types of pain. Then if Krishna is coming as death to a devotee, how is he coming? As a cat coming to catch the kitten. See, cat is also catching the kitten by the mouth, and then taking the kitten in her mouth, and then catching the kitten very safely so that it doesn't get hurt. But what happens when a cat is catching a rat? It is completely tearing it and then eating it. So death of a devotee and death of a non-devotee, a materialist, can be compared to this kind of an analogy. So it is Prabhupada is explained wonderfully here that the scriptures, the Vedic scriptures always say that the grihasthas are have to live their life in Krishna consciousness, and then they have to keep Krishna in center, and then they should not be grihamedis. Grihamedis are always jealous. I'm seeing this jealousy in the form of this Israel and Palestine war. See, suddenly the war started, and then you can see such chaotic situations. Just for a small piece of land. They're fighting for a small piece of land, which is insignificant, and then these people are not ready to give up the area for some of the people. Or let's say if they all the leaders come together, they can live together happily. It doesn't belong to them. The land they did not manufacture, but they're fighting over a piece of land which is not theirs, and then they're not going to be there forever. But they're killing each other, they're killing it's just chaotic. So you can understand this jealousy uh, uh, is extending to another person, another locality, another country, another area. So this jealousy is deep rooted, because all other things can be used in the service of Krishna. Like actually anger can be used in the service of Krishna. Like Hanuman used anger in the service of Krishna, because when Ravana enraged Hanuman, that uh, humiliated him, he humiliated Hanuman, and he humiliated Hanuman when he came. But what he did, he showed his anger by burning the city of Lanka. And also in a way that Lord Ram did not get, did not get offended. He also made sure that Sita Mata was safe, and then he gave the news of Sita Mata was being safe, and then he came back with a ring given by Sita Mata to Lord Ram. But he taught Ravana a lesson, because everybody around Ravana told Ravana that a monkey coming from across the ocean and then creating such a havoc, imagine what his Lord can do, Lord Ram can do. So please return Sita Mata to Lord Ram, and then you will be happy. But even Vidura was a great devotee of Lord Ram, and then Vibhishana, sorry, Vibhishana was a great devotee of Lord Ram, and then he told Ravana that you should not, Lord Rama is the supreme Lord himself, and then you can't win over him. You please return Sita Mata. But he was, so puffed up. He was so puffed up with his powers, and then he thought that he can fight anybody. So ultimately, he was defeated. So in this way, in the age of Kali, everybody is envious of everybody. So the only way to make sure that this envy, this jealousy is removed is by the chanting of the holy name Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So I keep going back to Shikshashtakam. So Shikshashtakam is it's only 8 verses given by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, but it packs the whole essence of our preaching. So it is in the first verse, Cheto Darpana Marjanam. So that means chanting of the holy name of the Lord, your all the anarthas, on the mirror of the heart are cleansed, and you'll be whatever you are hankering for happiness, Anandambudi Vardhanam. That means if we are all hankering of happiness and Ananda, that's Ananda Ambudi. So that means it is an ocean of happiness. Like we are in the desert and we are hankering for happiness, and then we are given a drop of water. But here is Krishna consciousness. Here is names of Krishna, which can give you Ananda Ambudi. That means it's ocean of happiness. Ananda Ambudi Vardhanam Pratipadam. That means each moment we can enjoy his name, his form, his pastimes. Everything is there inside the name of Krishna. Anandambudi Vardhanam Pratipadam Purnamrata Swadanam. That means you can taste the nectar. Sarvatma Param Vijayate Sri Krishna Sankirtanam. That means Param Vijayate. So all victories to Hare Krishna Mahamantra, and then Sankirtana, especially when it is done Actually, I was seeing one clipping of my Guru Maharaj. Somebody asked, "Do Narada Muni come and see the earthly people? Does he come?" He was quoting his experience with Srila Prabhupada. Prabhupada used to say, "Oh, Narada Muni comes and sees," and then he also saw Gaurnitai dancing in front of the Jagannath Rath Yatra. So these people, uh, you know, these personalities, great personalities, do come. Demigods do come in the form of human beings when Sankirtana is performed. But when pure Sankirtana is performed, these personalities, great personalities, do come. And but due to our, senses, we cannot, materially affected senses. We cannot see them. Only elevated personalities like Prabhupada can see them, and then they can realize that they had come. And also in the second verse, Namna Makari Bahuda Nija Sarva Shakti Tattapita Nimita Smaranena Kala. That means there is no time and place or circumstances to chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Any time can be utilized for chanting. If you are at work, you can chant. If you are if you are in traveling, you can chant. If you are anywhere, you can chant. Actually, in future, there might be some situations that will not be, if some leaders come and then they say Bhagavad Gita should not be distributed, Bhagavatam should not be discussed, there might be some situations, but nobody can stop us chanting within the mouth. We can close our mouth, and then we can start chanting within our mouth, and then we can start vibrating the tongue. So, as Rupa Goswami said in one of these verses, Atasya Krishna Namadi na bhravet grahyam indriyai. That means Krishna Namadi, Krishna's names and the pastimes and the paraphernalia cannot be understood by these blunt senses. So, Atasya Krishna Namadi na bhravet grahyam indriyai. Sevan mukhe hi jihvado. That means we have to enter service. We have to do service through our tongue. So tongue is the most important sense, because used for we can use it for talking nonsense, and it can be used for glorifying Lord Krishna in the way of chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, or discussing about the Srimad Bhagavatam. So in this way, tongue is the most important sense organ, which can lead us to liberation, and then which can lead us to Krishna Prema. So in this way, this human form of life is meant to be a Gruhastha and not a Gruhamedi. So Gruhamedi we can all be, and we can have a house, we can have children, we can have wife, we can have many things. We can have wealth, we can have many things, but ultimately it is not going to help us to cross over the ocean of birth and death. In 8.16, as it is mentioned here, Brahma Bhuvana Loka Punavravartino Arjuna. In 8.16 said that from the highest planet in the material world down to the lowest are all our places of misery, wherein repeated birth and death take place. But one who attains to my abode, O son of Kunti, never takes birth again. So Krishna is telling this to Arjuna in the Bhagavad Gita 8.16, that even if you go to the Brahmaloka. So what is Brahmaloka? Brahmaloka is the topmost material planet, where one day of Brahma is 1,000 Mahayugas. So 1,000 Mahayugas is, one Mahayuga is Satya Yuga, Treta Yuga, Dwapara Yuga, Kali Yuga. So that is one Mahayuga. So such 1,000 Mahayugas make one day of Brahma. So one Mahayuga is 43 lakhs of years in the human calculation. So 43 lakhs of years into 1,000. So it is one day of Brahma, and then he lives for 100 years. So we can imagine how it is materially. If you think it is almost in the human calculation, it is almost, he doesn't have death, but he still, in relativity, if you take, he still have death. Brahma Bhuvana Loka Punaravartino Arjuna. That means even if you go to the Brahma Loka, it is not going to get you, life life without birth, death, old age, and disease. So if you want to get the life of birth, death, and old age disease, the only place to go is Vaikunta and above. So there are different Vaikunta planets where I think in other uh, other classes we have discussed that there are different rasas. There are different rasas. There is Shanta rasa, there is Dasya rasa, there is Sakya rasa, there is Vatsalya rasa, there is Madhurya rasa. So there are different rasas. So according to our inclination, our original position with Krishna, we will attain that rasa with Krishna. So only thing is we have to follow our spiritual master, we have to follow our senior Vaishnavas, we have to follow our scriptures, and then make use of the best bargain what we have, that human form of life can give. And no other, even the demigods are queuing up to take the human form of life, especially in the period where Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has appeared. That means it is a very, 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 very important, period in this Kali Yuga, that not many of the Kali Yuga jivas will get it. After this golden period, the so-called golden period of 10,000 years after the birth of Lord Chaitanya is over. So that means the rest of the Kali Yuga is going to be very harsh. And then, as Prabhupada has mentioned in one of the lectures, that people will start eating people. So that means there'll be no water, there'll be no vegetables, no fruits, no grains, no pulses. So what is left is eat one another. So so I'm sorry to scare you, Mataji. So, but this is at the end of Kali Yuga. But we are very fortunate to have Srila Prabhupada guiding us, and then we have this literature. So we need to take the best benefit out of this period, and then go back to home, back to Godhead. Hare Krishna, Mataji. I conclude this session. I open up the session for question, answers, comments. Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much, Prabhuji. Sorry for my expressions, but yes, we all should be very scared, and we don't want to be there. So time to just go away as soon as possible, back to Godhead. Are there any questions or comments? Okay, Prabhuji, I know one of the mentor did mention about the 9 fears. Prabhuji, can we revise them again? What are the 9 types of fears?
Mataji, I have not listed all the 9 types of fears, but I can take and then give it to you, Mataji, later on.
Okay. Hare Krishna, are there any other questions or comments for today?
Hare Krishna. Prabhuji, sometimes I wonder, okay, so we are aiming for the best and to leave this material world and not come back, but definitely somebody like me will come back again and again and again. So will we meet Kali Yuga at some stage in the extreme end where, as you say, it's written in the Bhagavatam anyhow, people will run to the hills, they'll eat one another, and all this sort of thing? How do you view that?
Mataji, I didn't get your question in between. Could you please repeat?
Okay, so I'm thinking that, if we take repeated birth again and again in this Kali Yuga, which still has quite some time to go, and we reach the stage, that drastic stage of eating one another and running to the hills and all of that, will that, my question is, if we take repeated births back into Kali Yuga, at some stage, Kali Yuga will still catch up with us?
Yes, Mataji. Actually, wherever we are, I mean, even if we take repeated births, but Krishna will be there, because Krishna also comes at the end of Kali Yuga as Kalki, because Paritranaya Sadhunam Vinashaya Cha Dushkritam. That means whenever there is a trouble for devotee, definitely Krishna will come. So we don't have to be fearful of the next birth or end of Kali Yuga. So that, which is definitely is important for us to realize that yes, of course, we are in Kali Yuga. It's Kali Yuga is not a good age to be there, because there are a lot of faults in the Kali Yuga, and then the coming generations are, as we are seeing also, there are symptoms that which the future is not going to be very okay. So, but still, a devotee who is devoted to Lord Krishna, and then who is practicing Krishna consciousness, should not be fearful, because uh, there's nothing to fear when Krishna is there.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Also in the Bhagavad Gita, he stated that Neha Vikramanashosti Pratyavayana Vidyate Swa Alpamapi Asya Dharmasya Trayate Mahato Baya. That means even if you are doing slightly with little bit improvement, baby steps of Krishna consciousness, this will protect one from the most dangerous type of fear. So that's what this sloka means. It 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 protects one from the most dangerous types of fear. So we just have to adapt to a lifestyle that we should not forget Krishna. Always remember Krishna, never forget Krishna. So it is a process, Mataji. It's not that it comes naturally, because we are all naturally inclined to material sense enjoyment, but to divert our attention to Krishna, whom we are from the spiritual world. Every one of us are from the spiritual world, but due to some reason we have fallen down, and then to go back to him is our ultimate goal. So ultimately we will reach that position, but still our endeavor should be there. Our endeavor is important. I mean, as much as Krishna's mercy is important. So both Krishna's mercy is important, but our endeavor is also important. Yes.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna, any more questions? Yes. Mataji.
Sorry, can I ask another question? Prabhuji, in this purport, it really stresses the Gramadi about jealousy. It sounds quite extreme to me. I mean, not just jealousy, but other bad qualities as well, anger, greed, whatever. But this focus in this purport on the Gramadi stresses quite a bit on jealousy. Can you tell me something about that?
Yes, Mataji. But what happens, like even in the family relation, if uh, if if the give and take between the family members, it's only that if you have to satisfy my senses, and I know if my senses are not satisfied, I'm not going to support you. It's like that. All the divorces are what are happening in this current age is because we are not able to, I mean, the other person is not making our senses gratified. So this is a concept of jealousy. So my senses are most important to me, like the demons, Ravana for that matter, even Kamsa for that matter. He was, a few moments before, he was dropping his sister to to his brother-in-law's house, and he was the chariot, he was taking his sister, and then there was Akashawani that your sister's eighth son will be the cause of your death. Like that, an Akashawani will come. Immediately, he will not see his sister, he will not see anything. He'll take his sword, and then he's ready to cut off his sister's head. So this is the jealousy, because he's going to any extent that uh, and Akashawani comes and then says that your sister will be the cause of your death, your sister's son. So he said, he was thinking, oh, if my sister herself is not there, I will cut off her head. So where is the question of her son? So the jealousy is deep rooted, and then it was about me and myself. So it's about me and my aham mameti. That means me alone. So it's me alone. Then only the jealousy starts. So if you're thinking about Krishna, then if you're thinking about Krishna senses, so we have seen all everywhere in Krishna consciousness. So devotees are always humble. Devotees are always helping others. Devotees are always trying to please the other devotees rather than pleasing themselves. So this is the character which we need to develop. Yes, Mataji.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
Correct.
Hare Krishna, any more questions or comments? If there are no more questions or comments, can I request Path Prabhu, Hare Krishna Prabhuji, are you around? Is it possible for you to end
Hare
the session?
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you very
Hare-
much, Prabhuji, for your nice class. Also, so many information about so many scriptures and practically all the things how we can use this one. Really, it is very informative class. Also, thanks all the devotee who joining here. I request everyone, please unmute yourself and chant Hare Krishna mantra for glorification of His grace. Arya Govind Prabhuji, please join. Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama,
Rama
Rama
Hare
Rama,
Rama,
Hare Hare.
Hare Hare.
वंशाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो
वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो
वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः।
श्रील प्रभुपाद की
की
जय।
जय,
His grace आर्य गोविंद प्रभु की जय। हरि बोल।
जय।
Hare
टैगोर
Krishna.
सीतानाथ प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल।
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. I'm ending the session. Hare Krishna.